Canada's a big place. From coast to coast, over 5,000 kilometers of rock, marsh, grassland, mountains, and forest, much of it untouched by human hands. And to get somewhere, anywhere, means making a commitment. And Canadians aren't afraid of commitment. At the center of it all is Thunder Bay, Ontario. A traditional gathering place for people long before Canada was even a thought. Thunder Bay serves as a proxy for this land. Its unparalleled geography reminds you that you're just a part of something much, much bigger. And now, it's our turn to make the pilgrimage. Once a year, disc golfers gather from across Canada to renew friendships and rivalries, create memories, and test themselves against the best this country has to offer. Whether you're a full-time touring pro, a junior with dreams of becoming one, or a weekend warrior with something to prove to your friends and family, your score starts at 0. And with 3 days of hard work, perseverance, and a little luck, you too can take your place on the throne of this vast kingdom of uncompromising wilderness and call yourself a champion. Welcome to the 2023 Canadian National Championships. Do you want to get somewhere? Prove it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the big one. It's the 2023 Canadian National Championships, elevated by Thought Space Athletics. This coverage is brought to you by patrons of Park Pro. Come patron today for as little as $1.50 a month, and by PDJ Canada. I'm Andre, and I got two special guests. I got Casey Hanemayer.
Hello, everybody.
And Ben Loggins in the booth.
What's up? Man, this is some gorgeous B-roll here of these cliffs. Are you guys teeing off of these cliffs?
We are not, but round one is at Dragon Hills, a ball golf course in Thunder Bay. Is designed by Kayla Visca, a prodigy teammate of mine.
Dang.
Round one, front nine.
Kale made it up to the deserted land of Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, round one, we got Max Regitnig, Swedish-Canadian superstar. What's he got? Forehand rates as his highest skill. I'd agree with that, yeah.
Solid
1,004 rating coming in. Thomas Gilbert, the biggest Canadian name on the Pro Tour. What kind of form is he coming into this tournament with last year? He was having a slower year by Pro Tour standards, I think, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Austen Bates out of Whitmore Lake, Michigan. I've never played with Austen.
Yeah, he's another prodigy teammate of mine. Very, very good player. Solid all around everything. You'll get to watch him for the first time here.
1,001 rated. I think we just have our 4 highest rated players, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, turning it inside out. I love it. The legendary Cow's Creamery bucket hat. That one's from PEI, from near the Hillcrest Farm course.
Yep.
All right, and we got hole one. It's a par 4, 500 foot. This one is just kind of your first shot. Your tee shot's going to be out into this open field, and then it kind of kicks into the trees here. Mm-hmm. What kind of shots are you looking for here, Casey?
You just really want to get as far as you can to that opening and just have some kind of shot in, and then it should be an easy 3 for everybody here. The only real dangers is if you get into the trees on either side. Pretty much it. You just need to get far enough, because the basket kind of gets pinched on the backside there if you don't get far enough down the fairway.
It doesn't look like it's too far down that tunnel. It seems like when you have a narrow opening like that, if it's a long way down the tunnel, then there can be some carnage. But
yeah, you really just want to try to get a shot into that opening.
Yeah.
And
out into the middle of the fairway is pretty much the perfect spot, right where Max
like
is.
This.
Yeah.
Wow. That's gorgeous. I guess anytime you're landing very close to the cameraman, that's always a good sign.
Yeah, perfect angle to approach the basket there.
So if you were to push this one close to the edge and try to line up right on that opening, would you have a jump putt at it, like
Yeah.
for the eagle?
It's the circle. It's like probably 40-footer
Okay.
from the tree line.
Were many folks tempted? that?
Yeah.
Will Thomas be tempted at that?
Yeah, watch. So this is
Okay.
the mistake, right? You pull it a little too, trying to get aggressive, right? And then
Yeah.
it kind of gets into those trees. But he got a
he
really
won't
nice
have
bounce.
access at all,
Well,
or maybe a bit of a roller or something.
there is kind of like a backdoor line, but
And I don't know if I'd call it a line, but you're
Right.
battling trees
Either-
through there. So
Not a lot of distance, but not a lot of gaps either.
yeah. And we'll see how Thomas handles that one.
Okay, Austen, he's a headphone guy. Okay. Wow, he looks like a powerful player. That's
Yeah, lots of
high.
power.
He's not really tangling too much with the right edge. He's going to have an angle, it looks like.
yeah, good shot right in the middle.
Okay, here you are, Casey. Any nerves? You're coming into this tournament in really good form. You had a really, really strong performance at Edmonton Open, and then 1 week later, maybe the best full tournament of your career at BC Open.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
probably feeling some pressure.
definitely some pressure. It was nice playing in BC Open though at elevation or at sea level, and then coming here was the same
Right.
thing. So I didn't feel any of those jitters.
Oh, he's got a grenade grip on this disc here. And he's looking skyward.
So Thomas didn't have anything here, but
And he couldn't throw some kind of roller out in the field?
he was too pinched off on the right side.
These short grenades make me
But
scared because when there's wind, it looked like there's some wind there.
Yeah,
And
it
when,
was.
even when you're throwing it short ways, if you're throwing it that high, they can go really far side to side. Basic A3 here
so
for
this
you.
was a really bad shot. Threw it way too inside.
And I love these Prodigy targets. They're my favorite targets, both for catching and for looking at these
Yeah, they
newer
look
Prodigy ones.
They do look good.
Especially, I love when the cage is painted to match the top band. It just seems like the visual framing guiding you in there. This looks a little high.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
That's fine
that.
though.
Yeah,
Little straddle putt, but 12 feet,
yeah.
14 maybe.
Yeah, that's the only mistake you can make is what I did. Is if you're in the open field, you just can't throw it inside. You just got to get it down the tunnel.
Man, Max got so much distance there. Wow. Got to get that putt up a little higher there, Max. Man, this is a beautiful shot. Swedish wide rail form coming in.
Yeah, this is one of Max's strong suits. He has that little floaty backhand putter shot down.
Just cold reaction from him there, too. Okay, Thomas is lined up on a little walking path here. That's fortunate. Is this going in? Oh, my goodness.
Such a good putt.
Wow.
Yeah, he
I mean-
saved himself there.
You know how it is. If you're expecting a worse gap than you end up with, it's easier to make it when you step up and you're like, oh, I got a line.
Yeah,
It can be energizing, and then you feel like you have to make it.
yeah.
And maybe the opposite there for you, where you get up there and you're like, really?
Yeah, I didn't realize that my disc kind of got pulled into the trees there. So yeah, I was a little frustrated with where it ended up.
Yeah, and your hands pulled all the way away from your body. Good cleanup there from Austen. Disappointing 4 for you. And then, yeah, the rest of the card's going to clean up birdie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with those 3 birdies in that par, it's this hole is actually playing as the easiest hole on the round.
Okay, that makes
which
sense.
is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Look at this. Wow. That's a nice hyzer swing. You can see too there on his body, he's like, instead of lining his stance up at the gap, he lines his body up at the basket and then pulls his hand into the gap so that the disc just wants to swing back in.
Hole 2, it's a par 3, 315 feet. Visit Thunder Bay if you ever get a chance, because come out and play these courses like this. This course is usually up year round, so it's a pretty straightforward shot here.
Yeah, it's pretty much you just throw it out of the gap. The gap really doesn't make a difference off of the tee box. Most people are just going to be throwing a forehand that kind of slices into the right. And very similar to hole 1, you just can't have the disc go either side because you'll have nothing. You just want to line up with the gap and have a putt for the 2.
I guess though, this one at 315 feet though, you pretty well have to get aggressive and push it on that edge.
Yeah.
And this hole's playing as the 6th easiest on the round.
Yeah, hole 1 there, it seemed like probably wrestling with some decision making about how aggressive to get. Whereas here, it's a similar hole, but there's not really any decision to be made. You need to put it on it. There's no way anyone's playing this for
No, exactly.
3.
Max and Thomas there with great shots.
Yeah, they've both got good forehands. Max, honestly, one of the smoother forehands of anyone I've played with.
So Austen here pushes it a little deep, and that's going to be at best a 3.
Maybe worried about sawing it off into the forest and then he overcorrects.
We had a little bit of a headwind here, and you can see on my shot, mine flips up way more than I think too, and it just does the same thing as Austin's and just kind of carries a little too far.
That's your A4?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. Not a good start for me.
Maybe should have gone with the stable disc there.
Yeah, I should have thrown my A3.
That looked pretty good. Definitely some static on this green, hey? So maybe you would play to the fat side of the green and trust your putt.
Definitely. Yeah.
I could definitely see some 3 putts on a hole like this too,
Yeah.
if you're putting from 40 feet in the field and then you zip it into the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, in practice, I saw a bunch of people trying to get into the woods back there, and it is very, very thick.
Little Canadian maple behind the basket there and then some dead birch. I'm the tree guy. Casey's always making fun of me for that because, I don't know. When we're on the, it's all I'm looking at new courses. Every time we go to a new course, I'm just looking at what kind of trees are these. I always say that a course can only be good as the forest that it's in.
Yeah. That's why you like Aspen Meadow so much.
Disappointing start for you there for sure. Couple, what's the Pro Tour boys both starting out birdie.
Yeah. Yeah, the first 5 holes on this course you should be getting every one of them. So yeah, it's not the best start for me here.
Yeah, and this one is also playing as one of the easier holes on the course. As you can see, it's par 3, 350 foot. I mean, there's not a lot of challenge unless you're going out to the right.
Yeah, the first 3 holes are very, very similar. Of just get something out there and make a putt.
Don't leak it right.
Like, don't leak it right into the bush. That's the only real danger. But you also don't want to leave yourself with too big of a putt, because then you can have yourself shooting into the woods on your putt. So
yeah, and this one on a raised basket too. Yeah. Ooh, this is pulled from Max. Is that disc gonna skip? No.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if he trusts his putt here.
Yeah, so that's about probably a 55, 60 footer from there. An elevated basket.
He does have a nose up, slow speed putt. He doesn't like fire a hard spin putt, like someone like Thomas would.
This looks better.
That looks great, yeah. So what, 350? That's more of a challenge for the forehand than the last hole at 315. 350, it doesn't sound like a lot, but I think you have to have more than just a basic forehand to comfortably put him at 350.
Yeah, we had a sneaky little headwind here as well, so it probably played to leave him a little bit deeper than 350.
Nice. That was a better swing from Austen than the previous hole.
Yeah.
Settling down, I'd say. These are holes you got to get, Casey. These forehand holes with nothing in the way. This is going to be on the edge of the rough, it looks like, eh?
I think it checks up. Yeah, right on the edge.
Perfect. I guess as long as you don't fly it in there, the rough is going to slow your disc down, so you can almost use it as like a bumper.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, when you guys have this sort of wide open hole and you're approaching this, do you, Casey, are you looking to place your disc somewhere to account for the wind, for your putt?
When I released that one, I knew it was inside, but with a little bit of headwind, because I was compensating for what I did on hole 2, because mine flipped up so much with the headwind, so I threw it a little bit more inside on this one, and it just worked out better than on hole 2. So you kind of play the course and then change what you're doing as you're playing. So,
but you're probably just trying to hit the rock on this hole.
I'm
trying
trying to play long darts. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of holes where people are playing to one side of the green or the other. I mean, I could see it on the previous hole, or even the previous hole or two. But here, I mean, it's just so right there, and you've got the rock there. I feel like you'd be trying to hit the rock and hope you don't mess your disc up.
Yeah.
Taking a look at Casey here, putting in his first birdie of the round, but we can that's a sign of things to come, and you can get stuff rolling. So shake your hand off there. There's a little bit of moisture probably in the leaves there.
Yeah.
Take a look at our scoreboard here. We have Kalen,
Yeah.
Kalen off to a hot start, an 8 through 11. That's the top scores right there. Bryce, Nick, and Jake all at -5. Brian and Andrew -4. And then a slew of people, Thomas, Eric, Austin, Marshall, all at -3 on the round so far.
Those are some well-known Canadian names for the most part. Kalen, we know him well from the Gander team, but he's a young guy. This is
very young.
And let's take a look at our Canadian Disc Golf Tour overall standings. There he is, Casey Hanemayer at the top with 260. Thomas Gilbert not far behind. Brian and Noah and Max, Austin, Kyle, Chris, Marshall, and Scott all rounding it out. We'll see if not everyone on this board is playing in this tournament, so can be some changes in that leaderboard. Hole 4, it's a par 4, 670 feet. This one's a long one. There is a little bit of a out of bounds river here. Casey, what are you trying to do on this one?
So either you're throwing it short, you're throwing a layup, and then it makes the upshot a little tougher. You're a little farther away, or you're just going big and going over the little out of bounds creek.
And are you just doing a hyzer?
Yeah. Is that green OB or what?
Yeah, green's
this
OB
whole
up
path on
top.
the left is OB.
Yeah.
Which way is this tail, right to left tailwind? Yeah, that's nice for the hyzer. You get way more distance when you're throwing hyzer with the right left tail.
So Thomas absolutely crushes this frickin' disc. It's
Wow.
way up there.
It's good
way,
that he
way
kept
up
that lower. If he had any height there, that thing is going to swing left forever.
Yeah, and
You
we're
too.
seeing, we mentioned at the top, these are some of the highest rated players in Canada.
Hopefully
it's So,
right on the board.
you
Right
know,
in the middle.
A lot of guys are getting it up to that board or before that, and then taking your second shot to get up to the green.
Yeah.
Ooh, Max put some flex on this,
Yeah.
trying to make sure he gets across that.
That's a great shot.
Oh, yeah. So is yours safe there or no, Casey?
No, I'm out of bounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must have been
Another-
close.
Another bad mistake, actually.
You were trying to go across, is that right?
Yeah. And
Just
then
didn't have
Austin's
the
throwing the hyzer here. Just lay up hyzer. Yeah. And that's what I should have done.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to go over, you got to commit and get
Yeah.
the height, get some turn.
Unless you have Thomas's power, you just throw it on hyzer the whole way.
Well, when you threw, you and Max, it looked like the wind was maybe more straight tail.
That's a great shot by Austin.
It's a big difference between tailwind and right to left tailwind when you're throwing a hyzer.
Yeah.
'Cause
So my
instead
disc,
of getting lift, you get knocked down.
yeah, my disc here he just like hammered the boards and then went out of bounds. But this shot looks pretty good.
Yeah, right over top of that green, getting it and laying it up really nicely into circle one.
Nice. Using the wind on the top side of the disc there to push it down to control it. If the wind's blowing the other way, you probably throw the backhand, I would guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Max is so good at that.
Yeah.
Nose up with the Annie. It's gorgeous. Thomas, same idea as you here. Put the wind on the top side of the disc,
Yeah.
dude.
Like let it knock it down.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easy from that distance, though. He's only 250 feet away.
I noticed the players who consistently score on open golf course style courses, they are good at approaching the basket with both wings, both
Backhand,
spins,
forehand. Yeah.
so that you can put the wind on the top of the disc.
Yep.
Because in the wide open, if you put the wind underneath the disc, there's just no slowing it down. Good cleanups.
Yep. Yeah. They're not tap-ins, but they're all a little bit of testers. A little bit of wind right now, so yeah, it's good to
You're
clean up these
exposed.
putts.
This basket looks like it's on a little bit of a hill.
Yep.
Man, that's some.
Oh yeah.
That was
grab.
close.
Yeah. So he had wind left to right there, which would have been pushing that putt down. So he probably put it high, knowing the wind would slam it down. But he's so close to the basket
Yeah.
that it doesn't really have time to.
Yeah. Yeah, the wind here too. What I noticed when I was playing here is it swirls.
Touch and go.
Yeah, it was very, very weird.
Hole 5, it's a par 3, 300-foot hole. Obviously, you got the challenge of this pond, but if you could just land it right past that, you're pretty much in circle one.
Yeah, OB Road on the right. And yeah, really, this is probably the easiest hole so far. Yeah, you just want to throw mid-range or approach disc hyzer and let it skip up to the basket.
And then there are snakes in those rocks. We had some snakes on the MPO coverage.
Nice.
Wow.
Elevate. Got it. Elevation for your mind.
Huge thank you to ThoughtSpace Athletics for sponsoring this event. It's a big deal. So it's always nice to have people supporting Canadian disc golf. This hole is playing as one of the easiest holes on the course, playing half a stroke below par.
Perfect shot from Thomas there.
Man, ThoughtSpace, consistently cool. Like, they're just a consistently cool brand. That was a cool ad. Watching, what's his face, bury that big putt and turn around, that was cool. Man, you guys are just making minced meat of this hole.
Yeah.
A backhand hyzer under 300 feet or right at 300 feet.
Mm-hmm.
The OB's not going to be in your mind when it's this simple of a shot, right?
No.
I think a hole just needs to be more difficult of a shot for the OB this tight to get in your head.
Yeah.
At your level.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys saw those flags behind the basket, that's just where a wasp nest was. It's not
Oh, that's
actual
not even
OB.
OB.
No.
Oh, okay. So it's really just the path on the right
Yeah.
and the slough short.
Yeah, the slough shouldn't come into play at all.
If you're worried about that, you're probably not playing on this card.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a tricky putt, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, headwind. Nice.
Wow,
Top
bar
of the
down.
bend, yeah.
Like a true Canadian going bar downski. You can laugh out loud, Casey. You don't have to muffle it.
Austen Bates putting his birdie in as well. He didn't
those
get
are
the
good
benefit
putts.
of the bar down, though.
No, he's American.
He's American.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just jamming it in there. That's with these prodigy baskets. That's what you can do in the wind is just jam it in there. It's not going to hit the pole and bounce out.
Did you saw the spit out at Kale's course there? Remember that one?
Well, those are the.
Who
I
was
don't
that?
know who's
Isaac.
I don't know who's or what basket those are though. Those aren't the T1s like these.
They're not? Okay.
No, they're different baskets.
Never thought I'd see it.
Well, and they like everybody was saying at that course that there was a bunch of cut throughs and everything. They must have
Quality
modified
cleanups.
them a bit.
Hole 6 is a par 5, 985 feet. You just kind of got to get it out of this mouth as far as you can with a little bit of accuracy. It does play downhill to start, and then the green gets a little bit tricky here with this sort of groove in here. It's almost like a true golf course.
Yeah, so we're flying out of the gap there. The tree on the right, and then the tree line on the right side is all OB, and then there's the first tree on the top there is a Mando, so you can't throw something and that flips up and then goes out onto the other fairway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it makes this hole a little tougher. So most people, if they're trying to go big, you're going to fly, and then you're going to have something hyzer out onto the left.
Oh, look at Thomas there, a wall of green he's building.
Perfect
Got the
start.
first 5. This is a much different hole than all the other ones we've seen. This is the first true gap hit required.
Yeah.
And a gap hit with power, too, ideally. This is too high.
So I'm actually want to see what happens here because we thought Thomas was going to be 100 feet into the woods. Oh, he must have hit something. Yeah, because during the play, I thought he was going to be 40 feet in the woods. So
I think he hit his line perfect. He just needed to be
lower,
a lot lower.
So this was scary because Max was he turned it over quite a bit into those bushes, really thick in there.
When does that OB start? Does it start in those first trees there?
No,
Or it's at the
no,
end of
you can see it better when we walk up the fairway.
Okay. Austen looks like he's lining up high.
So he pulled it. I think he misses the Mando here. Yeah.
That flipped pretty quick on him.
Yeah.
Because that came out of his hand on
Oh,
Heiser.
actually, it might have actually just been in the trees early, so he might not have missed the Mando. And I'm just playing the layup play. I think me and Max were laying up, and then Thomas and Austen were going for it.
I see. You're trying to more push the right side of the fairway and then
Yeah.
Heiser back to the left side.
Yeah, this is just a mid-range.
There's a bit of an open pocket there where you're landing too,
Yeah.
where it
Yeah,
more
so
space.
yeah, that was my play. It was just to go for that pocket on that side.
And how much does having that Mando on that tree, we can see it now there on the
Yeah,
on the
right
right hand
there.
side. How much does that play into, your shot selection as far as just trying to make sure you get the right shape on it?
No, for sure. I like I like myself. I see myself being up top here is way more beneficial than being down below and trying to throw something on like the downhill slope. So I was just playing up top, and then it doesn't even bring that Mando into play, right? When you're trying to go for the down to the bottom.
Yeah.
But with power like Thomas, like see how close Austen was here to the Mando.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, he might as well have missed it because he can't.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
this is really bad luck too. And then it rolls right back
Oh,
down.
my gosh.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Got to practice those cut rollers, kids. It's just not a shot you throw a lot.
No.
It's hard to have confidence in it because it's not like you're doing that in warm up. And then especially with this much wind, it's not like everyone's practicing that in every different wind.
Yeah.
That's a good swing.
Yeah. Good standstill forehand from Austen there.
Still got 80 feet left, though, it looks like, in headwind.
Yeah,
This is a good hole.
Max was really pinched off up top, but he gets this one out good on his first third
Nice.
shot up there. Nice skipper.
Cloud breaker doing the bounce and glide.
Yeah, so we went over here, and I thought Thomas was going to be down the hill. It kind of drops off on the back here, but he hit one of those trees about 15 feet up, and it dropped him on the top. So he got really lucky on that shot.
Got a swing. That's well done, too.
Yeah,
That's good.
really good shot for what he had.
Maybe a little bit higher of a release than he wanted, but didn't
He
quite
was-
get the distance that he would have wanted.
He was so pinched on the trees there. That's pretty much all he had.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Yeah.
not going to get to the basket in one, so he gives himself a chance. He's still playing for birdie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see these, this lead card or this featured card is playing a lot from the trees. This is actually playing as the fifth hardest hole on the day. So
Yeah, me and Thomas leave those both approach shots really short for where you want on this basket, because it doesn't look that uphill, but it is very uphill if you're below the basket that far.
A bit of a false front there, too, like
Yeah.
in front, where it's just like you land it thinking it's going to bounce up, but it's not going to. It's like a 30-degree slope.
Yeah,
It's not
this
going-
was a very difficult wind.
Ooh.
So Thomas was playing that wind for it to push it into the basket, but it just didn't move at all.
He almost got that.
yeah, and that's
And then the
danger
crosswind
here.
pushes it
And
down.
then watch this roll too. This is what happens on this basket, right? So uphill it just rolls.
So
Anything.
the
that
first
hits.
putt was for birdie, and now he has the same putt for bogey.
Yeah.
Too high with the lift.
So after watching that, I was just like, just jam it right in the middle. And then I didn't, and it caught good.
Trying to go bar down again.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's what I just hit enough of the chains where that wind pulled it in, right? That wind pushed it.
When you're putting uphill into a headwind, there's no way to avoid exposing the flight plate.
No, it's tough.
You're just kind of, yeah. You can't punch it under the wind. You saw the wind just toying with yours.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Max doesn't want the comebacker from down there, so leaves it low.
So I'm getting all the strokes back right now.
Wow.
We're all tied up. Austen one behind.
I mean, that hole was a very different hole than every other hole you guys have played so far. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to see very different results.
What
a catch.
Yeah.
That's the sponsor love. The Prodigy last link of chain on the right
Yeah.
giving you a
Yeah.
shout out.
Let's take a look at our scoreboard through 6.
I'm just taking a look at this beautiful B-roll again.
Yeah. We still have Kalen at minus 11, Brian at minus 6, and then Andrew and Marshall at minus 5, Bryce, Ben, Devin, Patrick minus 4, Max and Casey at minus 3. You guys have a few holes advantage on these guys, but we'll see if you guys can move up the leaderboard here.
So
Yeah, it's gonna
Kalen,
be tough to catch Kalen.
He was 8 down through 11, now 11 down through 14, which means he hasn't stopped. Looking at his scorecard, he actually parred the first 3 holes.
First 3, yeah.
And he's actually birdied every hole since then.
Everything else.
11 in a row.
Yeah.
Hole 7, it's a par 4, 733 feet. You kind of saw the pond there. You guys are just kind of trying to put one out into the field below and then trying to get your layup into this rock here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably elevated about 100 feet, or not that far, maybe 80, 100 feet up. And then, yeah, you're just trying to land it kind of where the drop zone is at the bottom, just before the pond, and then throw something up that lands fairly close to the rock, because putting on this basket with some wind is really, really tough.
Yeah, it's very elevated because of that rock.
Another basket with a rock, hey? Whoever was building the course must have known a guy with a drill.
So this is pretty much perfect, right behind the drop zone there, away from the bushes on the right, just give you a clear shot up to the basket.
And there is OB on the left-hand side. This is
same trees.
Exactly. And so if you go into that other fairway, that's out of bounds. So you really want to kind of hang it out a little bit further to the right.
Yeah, good shot by Max there as well. Austen a little higher, but looks like it's swinging in good. Yeah, not in the bushes there. Perfect.
Man, dude, they really put the training wheels on you here with the OB right there, because you're getting to throw downhill with open space. So I feel like you'd really just want to unload on it, but you can't.
No, you can't. Yeah, so everybody pretty much perfect shots there. Nothing special, just putting it into a spot where you can get up and down.
It's really just all about that second shot.
Yeah.
How much space do you have between the wasteland short and the basket?
So none of that's actually OB, just the pond.
Oh, okay.
So all the grass and everything's safe. It's just the pond that's OB. So there is quite a bit of room, but it's very, very uphill to that basket if you land short.
Right.
Yeah, you really want to land on the backside like you did.
Yeah. Both of these shots are perfect.
Yeah.
That's a scary putt coming back at it, though.
Yeah, anything outside 20 feet on this basket, even without wind, is scary.
It doesn't really matter what side you're on,
No.
I guess, eh?
No.
This is shorter. This should be tight, eh?
Yeah, I thought Max threw this perfect out of his hand, and then when we get up there, he was like 80 feet long. So,
Wow.
yeah, just sailed on him.
A little crosswind, maybe. This is lower. Let's see if this works.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Oh, that's
too.
the one. Very
But
nice.
you'll see when we get to Thomas, you are legit putting up, like directly up into the air.
Yeah, you're pretty level here, I guess. As far as this green is concerned.
That's probably a smart layup from Max there. It was just a little bit too far to challenge that basket.
Yeah, when we was playing the practice round, and I was here one time before, I do like being up top on that side, just because you're not putting directly up top at the basket.
Anytime, I notice on these elevated baskets, if your footing is
Good putt.
not level side to side, it's so hard to keep the disc on line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's these elevated baskets. It's like you might miss the height, but you have to keep it on the pole.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're stagger stance diagonal across a slope, it's just so much harder to do.
Yeah, Austen was a little bit low there on his putt, so
No carnage though, no big rollaways,
No.
no 3-4 putts. Which I'm sure on some other cards, like we said before, we're watching the 4 highest rated players.
yeah,
I'm
you
sure
definitely
there was
see
some carnage on some other cards.
Yeah, you think about those mid sort of arm players that they might not be able to get their first drive all the way to the front of the OB,
Right.
and they might have a harder time getting that disc. There's their upshot up there. So.
For sure. Yeah.
Hole 8, it's a par 4, 880 feet. This one has a sand trap here and a green, and then OB on the left and behind the basket, and then obviously some challenging foliage on the right here.
Yeah, so this hole was changed actually for this year, and it was probably the best change on the course. They moved the tee box back, I don't know, 200 and 250 feet, and made the first drive very specific. So you have to throw it legit as far as you can to actually have a easy shot into the green. Throw this one really good actually, because I'm trying to throw it to the right side so I have a forehand in.
Wow.
Now, if you unleash a shot on here, does that green come into play too? Is that kind of like hold you back a little bit?
I could see Thomas getting there if he fully unloads, because I think Thomas is throwing a fairway driver here. You don't think he's throwing a distance driver. But I don't have to worry about that.
That's a good swing from
Yeah.
Thomas. Wow. This may be the first drive where it's not just about keeping it in play. Like, it looks like you'd actually do your attacking off the tee
Yeah,
here,
you have
because
to attack it.
if you that there's not a lot of space around this basket. So if you have 400 feet into this green, that's not the
tough.
position you want to be in.
Yeah.
You need a 500-foot drive, I feel like, to be comfortable going into this green.
Yeah, it's a very well designed hole, just how it shapes up with coming off the tee super deep and then coming into the green, it's super tight. So you have to have every shot for this.
When you
disc golf
said
hole.
you like the forehand into this green, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's just all about accuracy. So if someone preferred a flat backhand,
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what the shot is, you just need it to be shorter.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were fighting a headwind here too, so I kind of shanked this real
Oof.
bad.
What's that? Is that FX3?
That is a Falcor,
Oh, the Falcon. Okay.
but that was all me. I just pulled that over really bad, so
Yeah, and you can see the disappointment and
That'll
your
cost
face
you
there.
2, right? That's not just a one-stroke mistake. That's a two-stroke.
Yeah. So Max here, he usually throws the forehand too, but I scared him, so he turned to his backhand.
Yeah, I honestly, I look for those backhands. Like, when I'm looking at these holes, that's what I'm seeing. But I kind of like that backhand, especially with the headwind, because the headwind's going to turn that backhand over,
Yeah, Austen with a great shot.
help you burn it into the ground.
that
Oh,
was a
man.
fantastic shot from Austen.
Bullseye. So this basket's not elevated, but it looks like when they mounted the post, they mounted it high.
It's high. Yeah.
So it's like 6 inches elevated.
Thomas with a great shot.
Trying to knock the lock off.
Let's see if you can recover from this out of bounds shot. With all this out of bounds and danger on the green here, this hole is playing as the second hardest hole on the day.
That is not a good upshot.
Was that mailbox mount or whatever that is? Was that in your way at all?
No,
Okay.
no, I just wasn't fully focused. Max with a good floater there.
That's a par though, right?
Yeah, it was a good bid from there.
That's a stroke.
Yeah, it should be.
Back in the day. Now card mates get to judge if you intended to
putt.
throw it. So,
Yeah. Limit the bleeding there.
Wow, that's a good putt.
Disappointed though.
As someone who has lost you a lot, it's tough watching you make those, because I think I'm going to get more, and then you stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
And a guy like me, I need more from you. These guys might not.
But there's a lot of lead changes going on, right? It's,
Oh, a couple of birdies. Those are good birdies. I feel like this hole probably was not seeing as many birdies as
yeah, Andre, what'd you say? Was this one of the harder
This
holes
is the
on the
second
course?
hardest hole on
Number
the course,
2.
playing just over half a stroke over par.
There you go.
What hole was the most difficult?
We'll get to it in the next round.
We haven't seen
the
it.
next the back
come
nine.
on. Just tell me. I want to know when the danger looms.
We only had 4 birdies on this hole, actually. Austin, Jonathan, Kalen, and Thomas. So two of them
Kalen birdied
on
this
the
one as
card.
well, eh? Well, this is hole 8, so
Yeah.
of course we knew that he
Yeah.
got that one.
Yeah.
Well, we know the most difficult hole for Kalen wasn't before hole 14.
Yeah.
Hole 9, it's a par 4, 536 feet. This one is, another challenging one off the tee. It's kind of really placement shot for your first shot. As you can see, the pond here comes into play, and then it kind of tightens up, bottlenecks here and into the green.
Yeah, so pretty much everybody, I think, is going to play the layup play. I don't think a single person actually goes for this shot because it was too risky. It's not, the risk reward was not there.
Oh, especially with the wind.
Yeah,
today.
the wind. And it started to get windier as the day went on. So
Yeah, that's a
everybody's just
scary,
playing
and not just lose a stroke, but maybe even lose a disc.
this. Yeah. So Thomas actually flattened his up quite a bit here. I was super surprised, and he threw it directly into OB. Yeah.
No, it's tough to see because Thomas, he rebounded after that double bogey with a birdie, and hopefully he can at least recover a little bit on this one.
Yeah, nobody's super clean yet. So
Looks like Austin learned from Thomas there. He has a check swing. You could tell he did not even come close to a full swing.
yeah.
Usually it's just throwing the hyzers enough to cut distance off. But you saw from Thomas there that downhill is still just going to push and push
Yeah,
and
and
push.
we had that crazy. We had a bunch of tailwind too, so it was just pushing everything straight.
Yeah, and those tee pads, those golf tee pads that you can see, they are not out of bounds. Those are in play, so you don't have to worry about landing on those. In fact, you kind of want to aim for them like Casey did here.
Nice.
Yeah,
so you get the nice flat footing.
Yeah, exactly.
The big man needs good footing.
Yeah. So this is a good spot too, wide open for the forehand, little chipper. That looks perfect from Austen.
Wow.
Yeah, good shot.
Got another
He's a
basket
good
on a
player.
rock.
He seems like he's got good accuracy and good power on both spins.
Throw this one a little wider because I
Whoa.
thought the wind was going to pick it up, and it did.
It did. Wow.
Yeah.
That lifted a lot.
Yeah.
You're doing some commentary from a few months ago on us there.
Thomas's approach.
Okay, it stays below the wind, hey? So
Yeah.
he put the same angle, but it just wasn't quite high enough to ever see the wind.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough when you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Let's see. This should catch
So
some
Max's
breeze.
didn't lift as much
What
as mine
in the
did.
world?
Right.
Still a good shot, though.
But great shot. Yeah. Raised a bunch
Man.
there.
High, but in the middle.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing that swirling wind as well, because on Max's approach there, it looked like there wasn't as much wind.
Yeah, the
as
flag
you
wasn't
guys.
moving much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty common, hey, on courses like this where it's, there's a lot of trees, but then you're in the open. You don't get a steady wind like, some of the other events we've seen on the Canadian Tour are just more flatlander, and you get steady, the same wind the whole time.
Yeah.
And any pro will take that.
Definitely. Steady wind is way easier than swirling for sure.
Yes, look at the flag. It's hanging straight down here.
Yeah.
But then at any moment, it could just rip.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. It starts
There it goes.
Starts flapping.
Austin tapping in his par. It was an unfortunate. He just missed it a little bit to the left
Yeah.
there and kicked down. So
Yeah, because mine was pretty flat, but right there you saw it start lifting. And then I actually had a good checkup because I thought this was going OB, but it checked up pretty good there.
With the swirly wind, with this many raised baskets, I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen more putts like Austin's.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough to avoid that
Yeah.
happening on.
that's it for our front nine here. We got Kalen here at
Kalen
minus
just
14.
crushed
Oh my goodness.
Just
14
crushing it.
So that's 14 in a row, right? Because he started with the 3 pars.
Yeah.
Yep.
14 straight.
Yeah.
then
And
they
still, and we get to see 18 on the on the back nine.
Wow.
Andrew Leyland currently in second. Marshall Taves in third. We got Thomas, Bryce, Austin all at -5, Max, Casey, Eric, and Brian all at -4. So leaderboard is below Kalen there. It's pretty congested.
Yeah.
See you on the back nine.
Peace.